Do any of these goals sound familiar to you? I want to lose weight. I want to be healthier. I want to be more productive. I want to be more organized. I want to do better in school. Have you set these goals year after year and not made much progress on them? I'll tell you why. Because none of those are goals. They are in no way, shape, or form goals. So how are you going to be successful meeting those goals when your goals aren't even goals to start with? In this video, you're going to learn about what goals are not, what goals are, and learn 13 ways to make sure you maximize your success, your chances of meeting your actual goals. Hello everyone, my name is Bakul Soman and welcome back to my channel. Let's start with the why, as Simon Sinek would say. Why do we set goals? Well, we set goals because we want to create change. We are one version of ourselves and we want to change into a different, hopefully better version of ourselves. And a goal is a channel or a mechanism for us to create that change. Change is hard. So just setting a goal does not guarantee success, but not setting a goal guarantees failure. So why are I want to lose weight, I want to be healthier, I want to be productive? Why are these not goals? Well, they're not goals because they don't specify any actions. What they are the beginnings of an aspiration, a resolution, a wish, a desire. And those are very important, as we will see in just a moment. But it is important to recognize that that's what they are, and they are not goals. So what is a goal? A goal specifies action. It specifies an action that is completely within our control that is going to help us create that change. It gives us focus and direction. So what are the characteristics of a good goal? A good goal is in service to a very strong resolution. And your resolution is your why statement, why you want to create that change. Second, a good goal is specific and measurable. It has the who, what, where, and when. Third, a good goal comes from honest self-analysis. If you're not willing to do that, you're not going to come up with good goals and you're really going to diminish your chances of success. Okay, so let's create a really solid resolution statement that includes that why. So instead of just saying, I want to be healthier, our resolution statement can read something like this. I will be healthy because it is important for me to be independent and self-sufficient for as long as possible so I'm able to help and support my kids for a long time and not become a burden on them. Or it could be, I will be healthy because I want to be able to enjoy as much of my life as possible without debilitating illnesses that are preventable. This is your resolution statement. This is your why statement. There's no judgment here. Whatever is your true motivation for trying to create that change is what you need to make as your resolution. And if that is not solid, then your foundation is not solid. So everything else is going to be very shaky. So let's say that is your resolution. That is your why. So now our goals need to be the action plan, the who, what, where, and when. So here are some example goals that could be tied to that resolution. This week, I will prepare dinner from scratch on Tuesday and Thursday. I will make larger quantities so I will have leftovers for lunch the next day. This week, I will go for a 30-minute walk in my neighborhood on Monday and Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. I will listen to my favorite podcast while I'm walking. This week, I will finish eating by 8 o'clock, brush my teeth and use mouthwash right away, and then spend the rest of the evening upstairs so I'm farther away from the kitchen. This week on Tuesday and Thursday between 7 and 9 p.m. when I usually watch TV, I will call a friend, listen to music, learn a new language, sew, knit, crochet, sketch, paint, whatever your hobby is instead. This might be a good goal if watching TV is something that makes you eat mindlessly. Okay. So what are 13 things you have to do to make sure that you maximize your success? Well, we already talked about the first two. Make sure you have a very strong resolution statement that clearly indicates why. Make this yours, make this honest. Number two, make sure your goal is a goal. Make sure it has that who, what, where, and when. All right? So now we have our why, we have our who, what, where, and when. So we're in a good starting place. Make sure you keep a narrow focus. If you have too many goals that target too many areas, it can get overwhelming very fast, and change is hard. So keeping it as focused as possible is going to help you maximize chances of success. Make sure you target the actual problem, the actual thing, behavior, action that is keeping you from meeting that resolution, keeping you from becoming that better person, that better version of yourself. If you don't, you're not going to get the biggest bang for your buck. So for example, if you're already pretty active, then adding an activity goal is probably not what you want to do. You want to target another behavior that's problematic, that's going to give you a bigger bang for your buck. Under promise and over deliver. Okay? Know where you are. Set those baselines really, really well. So when you set your goal, you're setting it above your baseline, but not way above your baseline, because that again can also get very overwhelming and you may not be able to sustain it. Make it highly visible. First thing, write it down, because writing something down requires you to clarify your thought. So that is a good place to start. And then once you write it down, put it in places that are very visible, maybe on the mirror, so you see it every time you are by the mirror, on the refrigerator door, on the pantry door, wherever makes sense, in your car. You need to be able to see it frequently so it is front and center in your mind. Make it known. So if you make your goal known to some people around you, you are more likely to stay accountable. Because the sad reality is that many of us, many times, tend to think more about or care more about what other people think of us than doing something because intrinsically we know it's the right thing to do. This next one is so critical. I mean, they all are, but this one really makes the difference between one bad day and a complete backslide. Reflect and plan. So at the end of each day, take a few minutes, make this part of your nighttime routine. Take a few minutes to think about what went well and what were some challenges that you encountered, specifically catered to your goal. Journaling is a great way to do it. That way you can really acknowledge the successes, because there are successes throughout the day, and a lot of times we only tend to dwell on the things that didn't go wrong. But just dwelling on the things that don't go wrong, that don't go well, is not sufficient. You actually have to figure out, you have to do a little bit of analysis and say, okay, why did it not go well? What were some other things I could have done? And then say, okay, next time when something like this happens, this is my plan of action. It also allows you to anticipate things you know are coming up the next day. If there's going to be something you know is going to happen the next day that's going to throw a wrench in the plan in terms of your goal, plan around it. Figure out a game plan. Figure out what you're going to do when you're in that situation. If you have prepped that ahead of time, you're more likely to succeed. You're more likely to carry it through because you've already rehearsed it in your head. Revise your goals as needed. A goal is like a GPS route. If you're setting off for an unknown destination, you have a plan to get you there. As you're driving, if situations change, if there's an accident, a road is closed, of course you're going to change it, but having that initial plan is important, and the ability to revise it is just as important. Revise your mindset. Separate yourself from the goal. So if things don't go well with the goal, don't immediately jump to I'm a failure. You need to start thinking about it as that goal didn't work. Because I'm a failure leads to why bother? I'm just going to give up. But the goal didn't work leads to, okay, I need to tweak that goal. That makes a huge difference. Be consistent. Change is hard and change takes time. So give yourself that grace. And if you set attainable goals, you're more likely to be consistent. So make sure you don't skip like 100 steps, right? Don't go from here to here. Keep your goal attainable and you're more likely to stay consistent. Create a support structure. Enlist people in your lives who are willing to help you and let them help you. So you can say things like, hey, can you not tell me if you bring cake into the house? Or hey, if you see me eating something you know I shouldn't be eating, can you please help me not do it? Say no to things that are counter to your goals. This can be hard, but this is also what often derails us. And once we are derailed, it's really hard to get back on track. So learn to say no. And sometimes you can ask them to accommodate you as well, especially if they're part of your support structure. Instead of always going out to eat and drink, which derails you from your healthy eating, you can say, hey, can we meet up for coffee? Can we go for a walk, a bike ride instead? You still get to spend time together and build that relationship without derailing your goals. All right, well, I hope listening to this has made you dust off your goals, resolutions, whatever you had made for this year. And I hope you're able to look at them a little bit more critically and see if they are real goals, and if they are not, to change them and make them into real resolutions and goals. In fact, that is your challenge. Think of one area in which you want to make change and create a really strong resolution, why statement, and a really strong goal to complement that resolution. I know I'm going to be doing the same. As always, thank you for joining me. I hope you learned something interesting, and please don't forget to leave me comments. Let me know what changes you are embarking on. If there's a specific area that you're not sure how to create goals or resolutions in, let me know and I'll be happy to create a video around that as well. Thank you for watching. Let's thrive together.